Welcome to Rocky Like a Hurricane Runner. I'm Simon, and I'm back for this week, and I'm with Owen. How's it going?
I'm good. Welcome back, sir.
Oh, it's good to be back.
I missed you. Like, doing a show without you was quite strange.
Mm.
I had no one. I laughed at my own joke at one point. It felt really weird.
Well, you had some great guests though to fill the spot.
Yeah, I feel like they were adequate. Good. Muffins and slats are adequate replacements. I feel like.
Yeah.
So.
That's
How was your trip? You went away, didn't you?
I was away for my honeymoon, so
hey,
I'm
congratulations.
back now. Thank you very much.
To sunny Hawaii, wasn't it? It was probably better than rainy old Melbourne.
Oh, sunny Hawaii was very nice. But I had no one to talk about metal and wrestling with. Although, I gotta say, Raw and SmackDown did come on TV at the hotel. And it's really weird because it's been years since I've watched wrestling in real time, like without the delay of being able to fast forward.
Yeah.
So I just didn't even watch them. They came on for like 2 minutes.
I didn't even watch them last week anyway.
And they show... Oh, I wanted you to fill me in. No. And they show them late in Hawaii because of the time difference.
Oh, yeah.
So they don't come on at like 8. They start at 9 or something.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm not going to watch this.
Yeah, whatever.
But also, it would be weird if I told you that on my honeymoon, I watched Raw and SmackDown.
Instead of spending time with your new wife.
Be like, look, I know we're in a hotel room on a honeymoon. You're going to have to be quiet for 2 hours so I can watch this crap. But yeah.
I bought lots of concert tickets to metal shows.
What did you get?
Parkway, or I'm calling it Killswitch Engage.
I saw that. So Parkway Drive are headlining a show, and Killswitch Engage, who we spoke about and featured in an episode a couple of weeks ago.
Potentially this coming up episode right now.
Oh, we will mention Killswitch again. How is Killswitch opening for Parkway? I know Parkway are huge here in Australia, of course.
That's probably why.
It's odd.
It is odd, but when you look at how big Parkway's album went to #1, the last 3 albums have been to #1 in Australia.
Oh, so. They're killing it.
Yeah.
And I've heard this new album's very good.
I'm a big fan. A lot of people aren't, but I'm a huge fan of it. I'm a really big fan of the new Parkway sound.
Well, it got some good reviews, which is good, and it's good that, an Aussie band is doing so well. But for me, as a bigger Killswitch fan, I'm on the fence about going until I see how long they're going to get for their
Surely they'd get at least 40 minutes, you'd think. Yeah. And I also got tickets to Mr. Big and Extreme because, oh dude, my mum is going with me. It's like her first glam metal concert ever.
You should mix up her tickets and take her to Killswitch and Parkway instead.
Just wait another 6 months.
They're like, yeah, this is the gig. That's pretty good.
It's been, and then MCW, you missed a cool, fun little show at wrestling, but there's so much. Will Ospreay announced during the week to come in July.
I heard that. Good old Will is back.
He just lives here practically now, doesn't he?
Yeah. For anyone who doesn't really follow Aussie, the wrestling scene here. So this show is going to be massive. Not only is Will Ospreay on it coming up in July, but also Tennille Dashwood, a.k.a. formerly known as Emma in the WWE.
And the night before that is something that's very exciting for us.
Yes.
Wrestle Rock is making a comeback. And it is, I feel like it's probably it is the best suited thing to our show possible.
Yep.
And Elm Street are playing, who are a very awesome thrash band from Melbourne.
Great metal band. And Wrestle Rock is what it sounds like. It's wrestling.
And it's rock music.
With a rock band. About 10 years ago here in Australia, this was like a cult thing.
Yeah.
They were playing at the Corner Hotel, which is one of our great venues in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Hosts some of the, best heavy bands there are. So
I've taken photos of some of my favorite bands there. So
Dillinger played their last ever shows.
Yep.
There in Melbourne. So yeah, it's a great venue. We can't wait. We will talk about Wrestle Rock more in the coming weeks. I think.
Here's hoping. Yeah, but anyway, today's episode back to an old faithful format. I feel like it is.
Oh yeah,
we've done a couple of these now. We're
going to run through an album, and this one's a sequel to an episode and an album we featured before.
More or less, yes. So this one is WWE. It was WWE at this point in 2006. Reckless Intent. So we've forcibly entered, and now our intent is reckless.
It's a story. We entered forcibly, and our intent was reckless. And what's great, we're saying to you the words reckless intent, but this isn't reckless with an R. This is wrestling, so it's WR. It's reckless.
Recklessly wrestling?
Yeah. And what's good, we're just shy of the 12-year anniversary. It came out on the 23rd of May, 2006.
There you go.
Just about a week ago from when we're recording this.
And this album kicks off with possibly one of my favorite entrance songs ever. a very recognizable entrance song for any wrestling fan. I feel like it. It's time to get the Batista guns out, my friends.
Oh yeah, get those machine guns out, slap your thigh, and shoot some fireworks.
I was gonna say fireworks, and it was like every entrance he had the fireworks going.
Oh, he loved the fireworks.
It was fantastic. It was when WWE didn't have much of a care for budget and just threw pyro at everyone.
Yeah. So he got this theme song when he moved to SmackDown and sort of became like the main dude there.
Yeah. Batista's main event push was very quick, but I feel like if it happened these days, the fans would shit all over it.
I know. A guy from a faction turning on the leader and becoming champ like that, basically.
But yeah, obviously, this song's I Walk Alone by Saliva.
Yeah.
Favourite of the show, this band.
Yeah, we discussed them a lot in our Elimination Chamber episode.
Yeah.
Our guest, Nick Brown, on that app, he knew so much and loved Saliva.
Well, I feel like if it's speaking of Elimination Chamber and Batista, his coming of age match was that the
New Year's Revolution.
In Chile.
Yeah.
Or in Puerto Rico. Yeah.
Puerto Rico.
Yeah. It was like his coming of age, that match.
Because that kicked off the push to WrestleMania 21.
Yep.
He wins the title shortly after he goes SmackDown. He gets this cool theme song.
Yeah.
And kills it.
So sick.
What's interesting, I remember he said in an interview once, the whole machine gun thing, Shane McMahon told him to do that.
Really?
And Batista thought it was weird. He's like, why am I doing it? And Shane McMahon, the story goes, just said it would look cool.
And it fucking looks so cool.
And then they added the pyro, as we said, and
always
iconic.
And I guess with it sounds like it emulates the sound of the machine gun anyway. Yep. It is very cool.
And he used this. This is basically still his theme song.
If he ever comes back,
face. This is Batista. One of Saliva's best songs too.
Absolutely.
It's a really good song.
Yeah. Fuck, what a band. Underrated band. I always say when we talk about the band, quite underrated, and obviously they're put in that little shelf of a wrestling band.
Yeah, they sort of are.
They're actually quite good in general.
Yeah, so. Check out this cool solo.
Yeah.
Pretty good stuff.
Vocalist is very, late 90s Phil Anselmo. Like Trendkill era Pantera Anselmo.
Yeah, a little bit. Josie Scott's got a bit of that.
They're like, ha! It's very Anselmo-y. Moving on.
Nothing wrong with that.
Now, the next song is a song that I know Simon absolutely loves.
Ooh.
And by that, I mean he fucking hates it. Burn My Light by Mercy Drive. It was Randy Orton's first song, entrance song. Look, so I was listening to this today on the way home from work.
Okay.
I like this song, but I feel like it'd be better if it was just a little bit heavier. Because the guitar tone is very thin, and that riff sounds like it should be really heavy. So I feel like it'd sound better if the guitar tone was better. It sounds really basic.
I forgot that this had a verse before the WWE cut version as well. Ugh. Oh, I hate it. Oh, the vocals, it's giving me flashbacks. Oh, God.
Hey, nothing you can say. See, I feel like if it was heavier, it'd be a lot better.
But that's why I hate it. You're right. The thin guitars, the weird auto-tune drowning vocals. It's like it's just so weak. And then the version they use, so it has that intro right at the start, on like the dung 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 dung, and it sounds like it's going to kick in, but all it does is
yeah. That's what I mean. It needs to kick. I like the song, and it gives me good memories of when I first started really getting into wrestling. But it just needs that. It needs to be a little bit heavier for me to really, really enjoy it.
This song is what ruined Randy Orton's first face main event push.
Wow.
That's my theory.
That's a big call.
Because people were like, Randy Orton! And then this happened.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, is that it?
That's fair.
Is that all?
I can see that.
If Saliva did this song as heavy as they did I Walk Alone, why did Batista rise up quicker?
Rev Theory, who do voices?
Voices is better.
Yeah.
As a song, Voices is better. It's heavier, kicks up
Rev
harder.
Theory could do a sick version of this.
Absolutely. I reckon people think this is Rev Theory. Rev Theory are like the better version of, what are these guys called?
Mercy Drum. It's a pretty shit band name, too. Anyway.
Just listen to it. It's just weak.
It's just that guitar tone kills me.
Okay,
like, I think about it.
12 years later, listening to this compared to Voices, no comparison.
I guess we're sport for choice now that the fact we have CFOs who literally cater for people like us. Who are going, here's Roderick Strong. We're going to give you a song that sounds like For the Fallen Dreams.
Yeah.
And that's his entrance song.
That's true. I know a lot of people do love this, though, so I feel like a lot of people are going to be annoyed that I'm trashing
We're shitting all over it, Moving on, by a guy named Homeboy, spelled HOMEBWOI.
What's great is that on Wikipedia, on the Wreckless Intent page,
there's no click-through.
No click-through for Homeboy.
Hard hitting. Now, question. Was this play, I'm pretty sure, I want to say it was, did Coach walk out to this at Monday Night Raw when we were there in New Orleans? I think he did.
Shit.
I want to say he did. Because the crowd popped for it big.
That's hilarious, and did we not
notice? Because this was his song when he was GM.
Yeah. And when he would have matches sometimes. Flashbacks to that.
It was his GM song.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously this is Jonathan Coachman we're talking about, but like, I'm pretty sure he walked out to it this year. American friends, if you have recently been to a Monday Night Raw taping, please tell us, is this the song that Coach walks out to?
Yeah, has Coach always used the same theme song?
I think he might. I feel like he did.
This sounds like, very much of its time. It's southern, the southern hip hop.
Mid 2000s, like radio hip hop. It was like 2000, it was 2006.
It's got like that fake southern hip hop sound. I don't know who Homeboy is.
Well, obviously Wikipedia doesn't either.
That's the other thing. This is considered a sequel to Forcible Entry, but it does also have hip hop artists too.
And more poppier stuff on it.
Yeah.
See, it's a song.
Hey, I'm a bit of a hip hop fan too, but this song is garbage.
Yeah, as I said, it's you know how like around this time Will Smith tried to do a comeback as well, and so Will Smith tried to do a comeback at the time, and it's just kind of like very similar
it feels
to
like that when he had that song Switch.
Like
for the movie Hitch, which I always thought was weird,
like little Bow Wow kind of era.
Yeah.
Moving on. I feel like everyone knows. I don't think we need to go into depth about this song.
Is this seriously just his theme song?
Yes. There's always like new versions of it, but I feel like it's just the same.
And this is by a band.
This is by a band called Brand New Sin. Get this. They were a southern rock band from Syracuse, New York, but New York's in like the northeast of America.
Weird.
I feel like that's fantastic. I did see though. So obviously they're pretty much well known for this, like doing this song. This is like their song. It's called Crank It Up. It's the Big Show's entrance song. And they also had a single called My World. It featured in Chuck Liddell's Ultimate Iceman DVD for UFC. Okay. But also that song was used for a lot of Batista's promos in his last few months in WWE.
Oh, really?
Supposedly, yeah.
Okay. How weird that they're a New
York-based southern rock band.
I think we all know this song.
Yeah. No, they broke up in 2012. They were around for 10 years. Wait, what? Wikipedia is just telling me that the vocalist... Chris Weichman was from Earth. You know the band Earth Crisis?
I know of them, yeah.
He was in the metal band Earth Crisis.
Oh.
There you go.
We're all learning about this song.
I'm learning a lot of things. That is hilarious. I think it's fantastic. Amazing. He was the guitarist of Earth Crisis for 4 years.
Huh.
As well as the singer of this southern rock band.
Man, these guys are probably making a killing from this one song. That's why they've broken up.
Royalties, man. You could retire happily on the money that you get from that. Although apparently he's retired now, so whatever.
Big Show.
Oh, he retires every week apparently.
Yeah, he seems to like troll people. It's like, nope, I'm not retired.
Now, next song, we're going back to the pop, slightly pop vibe. I feel like a lot of our male fans got quite excited when this song hit during the mid thousands.
Yep.
Kelly's entrance song by a lady named Desiree Jackson. Well, Desiree Coleman. For our sporting fans, Desiree, she's actually married to the head coach of the Golden State Warriors, Mark Jackson.
Huh.
For the basketball team. So there you go.
Good for her.
Good for her.
And for him.
There you go. So I actually saw something quite interesting about this one. Holler was originally attributed to Candice Michelle, but then later used by Kelly and was featured on the Music of WWE Volume 9 as Kelly's theme.
Now that happens to a theme later in this album as well.
Yes.
Where WWE jumped the gun.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we know who this song will suit.
But it's actually for someone. So this was actually never used by Candice Michelle, it was used by Kelly.
Interesting. What song did Candice Michelle use? Who cares?
I was gonna say, I think it was just a Jim Johnston
It must
song.
have been.
Yeah.
This is at the time where every female competitor, for people who didn't watch wrestling back then, just had basically a pop song about how hot they were.
Pretty much.
Or how much guys loved them.
Yeah.
Really weird.
It was really weird, and now they just have really cool songs.
Yeah, now they have songs that sort of suit the
Paige's
character
song's
more.
cool.
Yeah.
Ruby Riot's song is just an oi punk song. It's the fucking best.
Even Sasha Banks' music, like, suits her. It's about being the boss and being confident and whatever.
And
like, the songs just aren't I'm hot.
And Bailey's the song's about having fun and being all positive and wacky
Exactly.
wailing up, inflating tube band people. Yeah. Next up, a song.
It would be like if every male wrestler just had Sexy Boy by someone. Like, why is every song just telling me how hot this guy is?
Amazing. Bit of rap there for you. Now, the next song was for Tori Wilson, sticking to the diva theme. A Girl Like That by a band called 11th Hour.
Bit rocky.
Very cool. And that's the thing, a lot of, as you said just then, a lot of girls didn't have the rockier songs.
No.
It was very much that pop
Yeah.
R&B vibe.
I spoke about it on the Forcible Entry. I'm not a fan of Lita's theme song, but I do appreciate that it was one of the first heavy songs given to a female. Yeah.
Again, these guys don't have a click-through on Wikipedia either, so...
I think they just got some musicians and they're like, can you do something that sounds like My Sharona? And that's it. It's got that vibe, doesn't it?
Actually, yeah, true.
Man, My Sharona would be a great theme song.
Amazing. It would be, actually.
Wow.
I don't mind it.
It's actually not too bad. It hasn't... It's aged better than a lot of the diva songs from this era.
And apparently this song was used by... Do you remember Tiffany? She was a quite very brief stint.
She was
used this as
Teddy Long's assistant for a while, and then
Yeah.
she was a GM of ECW.
Yeah, she used this after when Tori Wilson retired.
Really?
Supposedly.
Isn't that amazing how little we paid attention to the divas?
Yep.
They could give Tori Wilson, who was one of the biggest stars, they could give her theme song to someone else, and no one even realized.
Yeah, I think it's amazing.
Wow, that's so bad.
But I feel like Tiffany was more of a TNA wrestler. She had a lot of stuff in TNA.
She was also married to Drew McIntyre for a short period.
Was she?
Yeah,
Oh,
Tara
there
and
you go.
Terrell.
There you go.
And then the urban legend goes that some weird interaction at a hotel room with her led to Drew McIntyre sort of stopping the first go around for him.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's sort of disgusted or she's disgusted. I don't know.
Interesting. Anyway, this song's really cool. I don't
Actually
mind
not that
bit
bad.
of
It's got a
cowbell.
bit of cowbell now.
I'm a big fan. I could actually genuinely listen to this.
Yeah. It's inoffensive, sort of old school.
Yeah, it's like the Cars or like Australian music equivalent, like the sports.
Yeah, it's got
like
that
Steve
vibe.
Cummins kind of. Yeah, it's like that kind of stuff.
Look, if this was on Gold FM, you'd be like, oh, I know
It's
this
like
song.
Gold
Yeah,
FM.
one of those songs.
I'm a big fan. I like it.
Wow, one of the better... you know what? I can say it without even hearing the rest. That's the best
Okay.
Divas song of the era.
Now, this one's an interesting one.
Okay.
It's called Quen Soy Yo, Who Am I, It's attributed to Carlito, but he never actually used it.
No, he always stuck with his normal Carlito thing.
So it's like obviously like a Latino rap song. But this is obviously the song that a lot of people will know.
I spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool.
A lot cooler.
A lot cooler. They're both not bad, but I feel like both songs don't feel like a main event wrestler. And I know it's the stereotype or rock song or rap song, but I just... Well, this isn't too bad, actually.
It's pretty gangster.
If he was going to get that, further run at the top, maybe he would have needed this.
I feel like he was very much just like a so-so wrestler. He just kind of didn't do...
But he'd bust shit out when he wanted to.
Yeah.
Like, he'll be doing nothing, and then in a match he'll do, like, a double springboard moonsault, and you'd be like, what?
It's like, I saw him the other year when he came out with House of Hardcore, and, like, I wasn't that enthused to see him at all.
Yeah. People love him.
He was okay. He was pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
He still has the Apple gimmick and all that kind of shit, so...
Felt like there was a bunch of guys from this era who, like, more was expected from him from fans. Yeah. So, like, Carlito, Kennedy, MVP, Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah.
Everyone thought those guys were the next in line.
Yep.
Never happened.
No, not really. It's kind of weird. I'm a fan.
Do you remember that episode of Raw where, like, the backstage rumors at the time where Carlito was lazy and he wasn't trying as much as he should.
Yeah.
And then on an episode of Raw, Ric Flair cut a promo on him backstage calling him lazy. And that was weird.
I feel like Ric Flair just does... No one gives a fuck about what Ric Flair kind of says. So. It is Ric Flair, can do what the fuck he wants.
Yeah.
Next song is Deadly Game by Theory of a Dead Man. Now this was for No Way Out 2006. Now, this pay-per-view had Randy Orton as the poster boy. Orton defeated Rey Mysterio to be the #1 contender for the Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 22.
Yep.
And Kurt Angle versus
The Undertaker. One of the most overlooked main events in WWE history.
I do remember this one. It was a half an hour absolute barnstormer.
If that match happened at WrestleMania that year, we'd all talk about that as like a Undertaker classic. It's fucking
But that
mental.
WrestleMania was when Ray won the title, didn't he?
Yeah. They went with that. The rumor was they were thinking of going Angle Taker at WrestleMania.
I should.
And the rumor was Taker wanted Kurt to end the streak that year.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, they had an awesome match, and it ends in that sort of double finish where Kurt gets a pin even though he's in the Hell's Gate, I think.
Yeah, okay. Interesting.
Now, Theory of a Dead Man,
they've been around for fucking like 25 years.
They're huge in Canada. They're a Canadian band. They're very big over there.
They had a single out recently that was pretty big in Australia.
Really?
I heard it on a couple of like Australian rock stations and stuff.
Not too bad.
But so it says here, Deadly by Theory of a Dead Man was a cover version of the original song for the event Survivor Series 1998.
Shit. It's a different tune, but yeah, Deadly Game.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't even make that
the original
connection.
version can be found on WWE Anthology and on its Attitude Era disc.
Yes. I remember the Deadly Game song from the Survivor Series tournament in '98.
Now, Theory of a Dead Man were like, huge in Canada. They toured a lot with like
Nickelback?
Nickelback.
Just guessing.
No, they do. And Shinedown.
Of course. Not too bad.
Cool band. Very cool band.
Not bad at all.
Yeah, I'm down with that shit.
That's a good song. What an interesting idea to redo one of their generic songs.
Yeah. I'm a big fan.
It's good.
And then coming up, I'm Coming by Sick the Shocker.
Yes.
This was for
MVP.
Not gonna lie,
To me, this is the same as Randy Orton. You know, you rewind it and you're like, something cool's gonna happen. Then it's just like, is that it?
I was gonna say I'm not the biggest MVP fan, to be honest.
He's another guy. Never lived up to whatever people
see
thought.
the hype. I don't see the hype still.
I always thought he was so good on the mic, though. Great character.
Yeah, great one. But even when it was just, hey, look, I like the fact he wore like that long sleeve jumpsuit thing.
Yeah.
And, like the tape across the nose.
And people always said he looked like either a Power Ranger or a can of Bud Light.
He also looked like he should be like doing like the luge in like the
Oh,
Olympics.
yeah, it's a cool running. Like, this isn't a bad song, but it's too laid back. You know?
Yeah. If I heard this in a stadium, I wouldn't be pumped for him to come out.
But the start of it sounds like something cool's going to happen because
Yeah.
of the clock, and it's like 1, 2, and then you're like, okay.
Oh, that's cool.
What about when he redid it and rapped his own theme song? He did that for a very short period, but by that time he was only ever on Superstars, so no one probably
No one
remembers
gave a
it.
shit.
No one knows.
Yeah.
Silk the Shocker was quite big at the time, though, or
Was he?
probably before this. This was probably after. He was another guy, like sort of like
From New Orleans.
yeah,
dude.
Master P, sort of that, yeah, New Orleans type. Oh, there you go, yeah. So he's now signed with his brother Master P and his nephew Romeo Miller. So yeah, No Limit.
There you go.
Didn't realize he was Master P's brother.
I actually know those names. There you go.
Does that mean Silk the Shocker was in WCW with Master P when the No Limit Soldiers were there in the late 90s, early 2000s? We're going to have to do a shitty music of WCW episode.
Oh, dude, I've already started writing one. Don't you worry. Well, I was a busy boy when I started writing episodes.
Okay, this will be a nice little fun fact that people wouldn't have known. So if he was in WCW, we can be like, he then did MVP's song.
Yeah.
There you go.
Now, next up is a band that I fucking love. Like, actually love. Fury of the Storm by Shadows Fall. A very underrated band, in my opinion.
Very good band. They came up in that new wave of American heavy metal,
Yeah.
early 2000s.
That metalcore vibe.
Metalcore.
So good, man.
So they were from Massachusetts. So
Yeah.
that whole scene, yeah,
That
the Boston
hits you in
scene.
heaps with Killswitch. Now, with this one, it was actually so it's a tribute to RVD, to Rob Van Dam on the CD, but it was only used as RVD's entrance song on the SmackDown vs. Raw 2007 game, the video game.
I remember that.
It wasn't actually used for him on TV, just the game.
It's a remake of that song they used for him.
Yeah.
I don't mind it. It's cool. Shadows
I
Fall are a
love
good
Sha-
band.
It's not. By all means, if you haven't listened to Shadows Fall, this is not what a Shadows Fall usually sound like.
No, not at all.
No, they're very much more a metalcore band, like very fast, blast beaty kind of shit.
But they're great. The vocalist is great.
With his
guitarist-
dreadlocks down to his ankles.
Oh man, he has the longest dreadlocks.
I've ever
and
seen.
one of the
I saw them
guitar-
at Soundwave one year. They're fucking awesome.
and vocally too, though. Like sometimes the guitarist does backup vocals too, and
Yeah.
he's a good singer too.
Yeah.
So yeah, similar to Killswitch. Interesting with this though, of what could have been. So Shadows Fall did this. Of course, it's a cover
Yep.
for RVD, but Avenged Sevenfold were originally slated to record a cover of Pantera's Walk. So, obviously, that would have been RVD's theme song.
But that came out on like a Kerrang compilation, I think.
It ended up being used for that. So they recorded it, and for some reason, it was never used.
That would have been pretty cool. Because at the time, Avenged Sevenfold at the time, that would have been just after City of Air. That would have been sick.
They were blowing up. They were fucking about to be pretty damn huge.
Yeah.
And if anyone's ever seen them live, they play Walk live sometimes.
Yeah.
And they do a pretty good job.
Yeah.
You say what you want about them, but they're fucking, good musicians. They do it justice.
Very cool.
So that would have been interesting. Who knows?
We have 5 songs left.
But yeah, an alternate timeline, RVD would have been using Walk in WWE as well.
Would have been sick. So yeah, 5 songs left. Somebody's is gonna get it by a 3-6 Mafia. I fucking love Mark Henry so
Oh
much.
yeah, 3-6 Mafia, one of the biggest southern rap groups.
Yeah.
This was interesting because they had just won the Grammy for the song they did for what's the song? The one with Terrence Howard and whatnot. So these guys had just won
So I think it's quite obvious, but I'm not the biggest.
Hustle and Flow.
I don't know much about. So these guys are quite a reputable hip hop troupe.
Massive.
Okay.
So the song that they won the Academy Award for, It's Hard Out Here for a Pimp.
What was that? What movie was that for?
Hustle and Flow was the movie with Terrence Howard. So they had just won an Academy Award, and WWE was lucky enough to get them at the same time.
I still say this all the time. Mark Henry has one of the greatest World Heavyweight Championship runs of all time. Mm-hmm. The Hall of Pain was the fucking best. So good.
Yep.
Obviously, that was a few years later than this.
But the run of serious Mark Henry starts here.
Yeah.
When he gets this theme song, he gets the now iconic outfit, the dreadlocks by this point.
Yeah.
And because he wrestled The Undertaker at WrestleMania 22.
Yeah.
In a casket match. That's not a bad match.
Yeah.
Not at all. But
Mark
this
Henry
is the
was
start
cool.
of it.
I think he was a worthy, although his fucking Hall of Fame speech went for like an hour and a half.
A little bit too long. But
like he was worthy recipient, I think.
I think so. And I think this theme song helped him.
Yeah.
Because he'd never had a memorable one before this. Actually, no, he had the Sexual Chocolate thing.
Yeah, I was going to say it's pretty good.
But giving him this...
And Nation of Domination.
This felt legit, though.
Yeah, this was badass.
And this is still one of the best theme songs ever, I think.
Yeah, 36 Mafia would be like a badass, like the set suits.
They even performed it live at this time, too.
Really?
Like, sort of to promote the album. That's on an episode of SmackDown.
Okay.
And it was cool, because you're like, am I meant to boo this guy? Because this guy's cool as shit.
That's fucking awesome. Yeah, as I said, I'm not very reputable with this kind of shit, so that's very knowledgeable. So that's fucking sick.
And the lyrics are, somebody's going to get their ass kicked. Somebody's going to get their wig split. Which I could never figure out when it first came out.
I'm assuming his head.
Yeah, you're going to crack someone's head
Crack
open.
someone's skull open. Now, the next song, I know you're not a fan of, but I'm a big fan of the next band. Like, genuinely a big fan of them. This is With Legs Like That by Zebrahead. Now, this was used for Maria Canales. Now Maria Canales. Well, yeah, Maria Canales. Maria Bennett, whoever you... Now, see, I saw Zebrahead 3 times in a week. 3 times in a week in 2014.
Wow.
Yeah, they did an acoustic acoustic show during the day, and then that night they played with Bowling for Soup and Less Than Jake, and then 2 days later they played Soundwave, and it was fucking sick. I'm a big Zebrahead guy. I think they're really cool.
I'm not a fan of pop punk, so to me I'm like, nah.
Fair enough.
And I think this song made me not like Maria at the time either.
Okay. Now it says here, and I guess it makes sense. This was originally slated for Stacy Keibler.
To continue the leg theme, of course.
Yeah, but then she was never. Then she left WWE, so they gave it to Maria.
You also have nice legs. Here you go. That's what it was. Did they play this live when you saw them?
Yes, they did actually.
Oh, did they?
I popped big for it. Yeah, they did play it.
So funny.
For some reason, they were like the band that had a lot of stuff in, because they've been around for like 20 years.
Yeah.
They had a lot of stuff in like the teen movies of like the late 90s.
Oh, they would have. She's all that.
They had a song in like Bring It On, I think.
Of course.
Yeah. So they had a lot of shit like in pop culture, which I think is pretty cool. So massive in Japan, like fucking giant.
Really?
Huge in Japan. When I was there, all I saw was like Mr. Big Stuff and Zebrahead shit.
It's so weird.
Yeah. But they sell out like 10,000 seaters in Japan. I think it's insane.
You just want to hear the whole song, don't you?
I'm kind of dragging out of it, yeah. But yeah, no, I'm a big fan. Like, Maria Canales she's back, I guess, in WWE. Obviously, she just had a child.
Sort of is.
And Mike Bennett is doing his rehab stuff and getting eliminated very quickly from the Greatest Royal Rumble.
Hey, he got that trip.
Yeah.
He should use this theme song.
No, their theme song is sick.
Oh, actually, theirs is funny.
That like super power ballad
yeah,
shit.
Yeah, sort of like 80s White Snake type.
Yeah, so
actually,
sick.
theirs is funny. Theirs is good.
Now, I feel like we'll play it anyway because I think this will be the 4th episode in a row that we've talked about this band.
Oh, man.
More Kill Switch. Woo!
Yeah, but of course, so when this album came out in 2006, WWE thought this song would suit Randy Orton.
But it was already used for Judgment Day.
So they were going to use it for Judgment Day, and then someone
this was
thought...
released in May.
Yeah.
Judgment Day. Yeah, this was released probably like the day of Judgment Day.
So they thought this sick Kill Switch song, will use it for a pay-per-view. And then someone thought they'd give it to Randy Orton.
Yeah.
You just think of CM Punk, though. It's tied to him.
Absolutely.
So Randy Orton only ever used it once, as we explained.
Actually, funny thing. Vance Adams, Melbourne wrestler, messaged me and sent me a video. Around this time was when... around that time was when WWF were doing an Australian tour. Randy Orton used that for the tour loop. He used this song for the tour loop. There's a video of it.
They must have been trying it out.
Because it really surprised me.
The only thing is, I know Punk used...
Because it was an episode of SmackDown, and it was around... It was just after, like, the day after they used it on SmackDown. So, on the tour loop, they used this song for Randy Orton.
And they decided it didn't work.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting?
The chorus is so uplifting and, like, it's too facey. I think at the time, because he was doing, like, dirty shit, talking about Eddie Guerrero being dead, feuding with Rey Mysterio, they probably thought, doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Suited Punk coming up as, like,
this fire burns. It's a burning to, like, up. It's an up. Yeah, it's uplifting.
It's suited Punk in ECW getting that, initial...
Long-haired Punk.
Long-haired baby-face Punk.
With the gigantic Pepsi tattoo on his bicep.
What will happen with Punk is currently in the middle of a lawsuit, so...
Yeah, I read that shit this morning. So weird.
That's some weird shit.
And apparently he's been told to, like, perform with at UFC.
Really?
I've read something that, like, he's got legitimate, like, really... in his next fight, he's really got to, like, show something.
Okay.
And then he's slated to appear he's doing a signing during that All In weekend.
Will he show up at All In?
Surely. Surely.
And just GTS some motherfucker.
I can just appear and just leave and just leave people wondering.
It's not the same if he loses his UFC fight. You know what I mean? I know it doesn't really matter. Brock had lost a couple of UFC fights. It didn't really matter when he got to WWE.
Yeah. But Punk's had one. He got fucked up.
That's what I mean. It can't happen again. Like, it can. It won't matter.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hey, we talked about it for a while. So, the next song that's going to pop up is a song we've actually talked about before on the show.
Yes, we have.
And we just mentioned WrestleMania 22.
The thing is, you hear these songs and you're like, damn, a lot of them, they stood the test of time.
They're big artists too. POD were fucking huge at this point in time.
So this was Rey Mysterio's, he had Who's That Jumping Out the Sky, and then they gave him this. And this one, hits harder, feels like a main event song.
Funny thing, friend of mine and just a cheap plug, I just appeared on his podcast, Jeremy from the Mosh Zone podcast. He had Sonny from POD on the show the other month.
Oh, nice.
Asked him about this.
Oh.
And he's like, what's the go? They went to high school together.
Oh, really?
Rey Mysterio and POD, because they were obviously from the same area.
From San Diego.
Yeah, from like deep South California.
Okay.
So they went to the same high school together.
That's so funny.
And then they were approached to do it by, like, Ray pitched the idea, and then WWF approached them
Nice one.
to write the song for him, and then obviously they performed it together at
A
22.
WrestleMania. That would have been huge for Ray.
Fucking cool as that.
That is very cool.
I found that very interesting.
And what's good, it's one of those songs that's not like we're just saying generic cool things. It's about Rey Mysterio as well. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, the 619 is his legitimate. It's his finisher.
It's really good.
But yeah,
Does that mean it was all their postcode? Because that's the postcode of San Diego.
It would have been.
Even better.
There you go. Look, I like POD. I think they were. I feel like they were kind of lumped into the new metal, like the generic new metal. You know when people are like, oh yeah, new metal, like Limp Bizkit, POD. I feel like they don't really belong in that generic new metal bracket.
POD had the Latin sort of vibe through it too.
Yeah.
But I guess there was always that thing. To some people would think like they sound like a less heavy Sepultura, who also... But that's different though. That was like Brazilian.
They're classified as Christian metal because they're all...
Oh. Payable on
religious
Death, isn't that what POD stands for?
Very fucking sick band.
But hey, Rey Mysterio also has a rosary tattooed on him, so
yeah,
that, you know... religion ties in too.
Yeah, it all ties in. But yeah, I really like it. I pop whenever I hear it. I always pop whenever I hear this song on TV.
Hey, 12 years later, it still sounds good when he runs out.
At the Royal Rumble, my girlfriend can attest to this. At the Royal Rumble, when it played in January this year, I legitimately jumped out of the couch.
You hear
off
that?
the couch. I fucking lost it.
Booyaka, booyaka, something cool's going to happen.
It's so sick.
Even in Saudi Arabia, it hit there, and those people went crazy too.
Yeah. We'll play the next song. It's obvious. It's although it's the second Triple H Motorhead song. This rounds out the original 15-song album, King of Kings by Motorhead, for Triple H. This was his authority. Well, used as the authority in the past few years.
Yeah, at the time, he used it at WrestleMania 22 for part of his entrance.
Yep.
So the epic Conan the Barbarian part had this, then it switched to the game.
Yeah.
And he would do that. So at the time, he would use this if he was doing a promo on Raw, but not a match.
Yes.
And he would do that for a while. Every few years, he'd go through phases.
I feel like at the time, Triple H was like he was kind of like Hogan. He didn't have to be on TV every week.
No.
And when he came out, he knew it was going to be fucking huge.
And this led to a face turn as well.
Yep.
This song is a face song, though.
Yeah.
I know we use it for the authority, but it's like...
That kind of made sense, though, because it was about to... But I guess at the time with the whole, like, Rollins thing and when he was trying to control, especially, like, the whole Daniel Bryan Ziggler stuff.
Yeah, it made sense to have...
At the Fast Lane in 2015 was kind of like... the reason it made sense to use this.
Oh, of course. And I always thought that was like as a character, it always felt like a wanky thing. Like, oh, this guy uses two entrance themes. One's for promos, one's for matches.
Yeah.
But what a cool song.
So cool. Third. This was the third, because then in between was Line in the Sand.
Line in the Sand, the evolution thing.
The best one.
I go back and forth on this or Line in the Sand.
I fucking love
the
Line
game
in the
is
Sand.
great and iconic and perfect
by itself.
But as a song, I always
Yeah, Line in the Sand kicks ass.
But this is good because it's not your typical Motorhead song. It's not speed metal, and either is Line
It's
in the
more
Sand.
punky.
Though. This is more punky. It's got the just cool vibe.
Yeah. So that's the original 15, but there was two bonus tracks that we'll quickly run through.
We might as well.
They were Walmart and iTunes bonus tracks. The one was the first bonus track was a Drowning Pool song.
Drowning Pool, of course.
Pay the price.
They did a version of the game on one of those WWE.
And we all know those bodies for ECW.
Yeah, so they've got ties to wrestling too.
Now this was a SmackDown theme song, wasn't it? Between 2004 and 2008. Actually, no. My apologies. My absolute apologies. This was Charlie Haas's song.
Oh, Charlie Haas.
My complete apologies. It's been a long day, friends.
Who could forget Charlie Haas's singles run?
Did he barely have one? Yeah. My apologies. Yeah, it's Charlie Haas's. It was by a band called Eric and the Hostiles.
I feel like I don't know anything about them, but I feel like Eric and the Hostiles were at one stage a Pantera cover band.
Sounds like it.
And they would sing fucking Hostile. Because listen to this dude's vocals
He
and the
sounds like
guitars
it.
during the verses.
So much Anselmo worship on this album.
I think there must have been the early 2000s, Pantera was sort of gone for a little bit and everyone was like, we sound like Pantera, every
And
band.
Down were making a big statement.
Yeah.
So my apologies.
Yeah,
for
listen
fucking
to
that
the
up.
riffing and the drumming.
Oh, it sounds like reinventing the steel. It's my apologies. This song was used for SmackDown.
Yeah.
Rise Up by Drowning Pool.
Yeah. So this was a SmackDown theme song. It was a re-recording of a song already.
Yes.
They just wanted to oomph it up a bit, so they
Just
got
tweak
Drowning
it
Pool.
a bit, yeah.
It's not bad, this one. When it kicks in, people would probably remember it. Yeah. From sort of here.
So this was the SmackDown song for quite some time, wasn't it?
I think 04 to 08, so
Yeah.
their version from 06 to 08.
Yeah.
It's not bad. More obvious Pantera influence.
Pantera. It's purely for the fact that Pantera fucking rule.
Yeah, everyone wanted to sing like Phil Anselmo.
Yeah. Well, there you have it.
So that's Wreckless Intent, the bonus tracks, all the tracks. It's not bad. Probably not as good as Forcible Entry.
No, I don't think so.
It's got some dodgy like inputs from, just bad songs from other genres.
Yeah.
Some facts about it. This was a big success. It hit number 8 on the Billboard album charts.
Really?
That week at the time, you had the Dixie Chicks, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Tool.
Was that Stadium Arcadium Chili Peppers?
Would have been, yeah, probably, yeah. Tool as well.
The last Tool album.
Yeah, that's right. And the Dixie Chicks, who knows what album it was. But number 8 on the charts. Get this, WWE Outside the Ring was killing it that week. See No Evil, starring Kane, was in the top 10 at the box office at the time too.
Okay.
What a good week for branching out.
There you go.
WWE, what machines. But 2 tidbits again, along with Avenged Sevenfold of what could have been. John Cena was originally meant to record a song for this album too.
Was he really?
If he recorded a song, do you think that would have replaced
What is now?
My Time Is Now?
Probably.
Because it would have been a year later, and they might have been thinking, we'll give him a new theme song every year.
There you go. Interesting.
Who knows? But lucky they stuck with it. His theme song's iconic. And then the weirdest one, Disturbed were originally meant to record a song for Triple H.
Fuck.
So if they did a version of King of Kings, we would have never got the third Motorhead song.
That's actually really interesting.
As in, David Draymond spoke about it in an interview. He said, Triple H is one of the top guys in WWE. He's an interesting character, so I think it would be an interesting challenge. I think our music is a good complement for anything that's action-oriented, be it wrestling or a video game, or our brothers and sisters in the military.
That's so cool.
So, of course, Disturbed did the Austin theme song on Forcible Entry. So, hey, what a weird, alternate universe it could have been if Avenged Sevenfold did Walk and Disturbed did Triple H's theme and John Cena had a different theme song.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, before we go, we're going to introduce something a little bit fun. I hear this on other podcasts, and I reckon we can do that because we have lots of things to cover.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to do, from now on, This Week in Wrestling and Heavy Metal.
Yes.
So this week would be from May 24th to today, which is the 31st of May. Going to go through some birthdays, some events, some whatever I can find. First up, Vampiro was born on May 31st in 1967. Vampiro being of WCW Lucha Underground fame.
Yes, Mexican wrestling legend Vampiro.
And on the 31st of May in 1998, WWF Over the Edge featured Dude Love and Steve Austin, main event with Vince McMahon as the guest referee.
Vince McMahon in his jacked up cut off sleeve referee
the
shirt.
Undertaker was like an enforcer in that match, I think. Something strange.
Watch that match. Dude Love and Austin had
Amazing.
2 great pay-per-view matches in a row.
Yeah. The underrated Mick Foley character.
Oh, and underrated matches, because I think
Yeah.
people remember the Hell in a Cell from, a couple of months later. But
Yeah.
man, him and Austin killed it.
Yeah. Jake the Snake was born May 30th, 1955. This week in May.
I don't think we have to touch on how good
The
Jake the
greatest
Snake
of all
was.
time. One of
No.
the greatest of all time. May 29th in 2014 was NXT TakeOver, when Charlotte beat Natalia for the women's title. Tyson Kidd lost to Adrian Neville at the time and Camacho, who is now Tangaloa in New Japan, was on that show as well.
So that was TakeOver.
That was
the first one.
TakeOver.
Just NXT TakeOver. And I remember because they pushed it as NXT TakeOver of the WWE network. It was meant to be NXT's taking over the network.
Yeah.
And now it's just like what they do and kill it.
And we're currently in the lead up to TakeOver Chicago, which last year was probably the best TakeOver. So
Man. But what of that first TakeOver though? Neville and Tyson Kidd.
yeah,
Cesaro and Sami Zayn.
so good, man.
Fuck.
Like actually brilliant. Seth Rollins was born on May 28th.
Hey, shout out to the what's his nickname now? Are
Oh,
we still going with the Kingslayer?
he's got so many.
I feel like
He's just got so many. It's actually ridiculous.
Look, he's been killing it lately. He is on a roll.
He's on here. I honestly think it's his best, role, his best run
Yeah.
to date. And Eric Bischoff was born on the 27th of May, 1955.
Man, May is a good month for talent.
It is
Eric
a great
Bischoff,
month.
Jake the Snake, Seth Rollins. It's good shit.
And over on the heavy metal side of things, so this week in May, between the 24th and the 31st of May, in 1983, there was the most ridiculous 3-day festival of just music in general. You had the likes of The Clash, Men at Work, Stray Cats, NXS, Divinyls, David Bowie, U2, all playing this massive 3-day festival. It was the US festival of 1983. But the Sunday is the day I want to talk about. It was 29th of May. Van Halen, Scorpions, Triumph, Judas Priest, Ozzy Osbourne, Joe Walsh, and a very young Motley Crue.
Oh, damn.
All on the same bill.
Yeah.
Like, that's actually ridiculous.
We don't get metal festivals like that anymore. But you combine it with all those other rock bands. What a goddamn show.
Oh, just incredible. Like, actually, so damn good. The Monsters of Rock tour kicked off in 1988 with Van Halen, Scorpions, Doc N, and Metallica.
Oh, it's
When you think
so
about,
good.
When you think about that was 1988, so that would have been Van Halen were probably touring OU 812.
Mm-hmm.
Scorpions was still just being awesome. Doc N was ruling, and Metallica would almost be releasing Justice for All.
So
They were in between Puppets and Justice for All.
That's so good.
What the fuck is that tour?
What great variety, too. You would have been so confused if you were going there for Poppy Van Halen, though, at the time, and you got Metallica opening.
Yeah, and then Doc N.
And Doc N, you're like, oh, yeah.
May 26, 1986, Europe released The Final Countdown.
Yep.
I think it's one of the biggest songs ever.
Don't have to explain what that is.
Holy Diver was released on May 25th, would have been 83, 81.
Dio's first solo album, an absolute classic, still sounds good now.
Scream Bloody Gore by Death was released in 1987.
I know you love it.
And Klaus Meine from Scorpions was born in this week in 1980 in the 40s.
He's so old.
He's so old. So there you go. That's a lot of cool shit. I feel like more structure in that is a very fun segment.
Yes, we'll do that every week.
I feel like we should, because I learned a whole lot of stuff just going through Twitter and the internet.
Doing some research. So if you're only a fan of one, or you're more a fan of one than the other, we're going to teach you about both.
Absolutely.
Make you an expert like us. No, we're not experts.
No, we pass ourselves off as
We're
experts.
just two guys talking shit.
Yeah,
Well, that wraps it up.
it does. We have some big shit coming up, I think. I've been writing some cool episodes while you're away.
Mm-hmm.
We're in contact with some high powers of the Australian wrestling world.
There is some cool stuff happening.
There is some very cool stuff happening. And if you heard us talking about something before, you could be connecting some dots.
Connect all the dots and stick with us. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter. Tell your friends about it.
Tell your friends about it. As I said last week, and I keep saying, if you give us 5-star reviews on iTunes or whatever you listen to us on, it pushes us out further to the world.
Yeah.
Give us good reviews. We're pretty decent, we like to think.
Chuck us a like.
Yes.
Do whatever you want on the socials.
Yeah.
Tell us if you like us or hate us.
Yeah, and tell us if someone has a CD copy of Wreckless Intent, send it. Send us a photo of the CD.
This will be interesting because we did this with Forcible Entry, and heaps of people had the album.
And when we were chatting about it with some of our media friends in America, they had that. But remember, one of our mates from England had the WrestleMania CD. He had the vinyl.
Yeah.
He had the vinyl.
Scott, who's a writer for Muscle and Fitness here in the Australia and in the UK, he had the WrestleMania album.
Which
the
just
proper
blew my
one.
mind. It was so cool.
I'm going to bet not as many people have Wreckless Intent as Forcible Entry or even the WrestleMania album.
Also because I think this was like the kick-off of the iTunes era.
This was 06, so you were either downloading on iTunes or you were stealing that shit on the
On
internet.
LimeWire and Napster, yeah.
So, there you go. We'll catch you next time.
When we rock you like a hurricane run.
Oh, yeah.